readers. I am Miss Alvarado. I teach kindergarten at Emerson Elementary, and I'm so happy to be reading and learning with you guys today. Let's take a look at the book that we're going to be reading today for our lesson. Our book for today is The Lion and the Mouse. This is a story of a lion that was asleep in the forest. I want you to close your eyes and picture the forest and a big lion. He finds a little mouse running near him, and the lion captures the mouse. And the mouse asked the lion to set him free, and that one day he would return the act of kindness. When you tell somebody that you're going to return the act of kindness, that means that one day you're going to be nice to this person or do something nice to this other person. Our title for today is The Lion and the Mouse. The author is Aesop. Aesop was a famous storyteller from a long time ago. The illustrator is Gail McIntosh. The illustrator is the person who drew the pictures. Before we read our book, I want us to go over some important words that we need to know to understand the story better. These words are important that we keep in our minds as we read through our book. The first word is captured. Can you say that word with me? Captured. Your turn. Captured means to take and hold. Just like when I was introducing the story to you, I said that the lion captured the mouse. That means that the lion caught the mouse, captured the mouse, and is holding him. The next word is scampering. Can you say that word with me? Scampering. It's a fancy word that means running quickly. When you're scampering, that means that you're running quickly somewhere. And then we have this word right here, promise. Can you say that word with me? Promise. A promise is to tell someone you are going to do something and you make sure that you do it. You keep your promise. When you don't do it, when you tell someone that you're going to do something and then you don't do it, that's breaking a promise. So let's get started with reading our book, The Lion and the Mouse, a fable told by Aesop, illustrated by Gail McIntosh. First thing we want to do when we're reading a book is we want to take a look at the picture of the front cover and ask ourselves these questions. What is the setting? Where are the characters? And another question you want to keep in your mind is, who are the characters? Who do you see in this picture? Do you see people? Do you see animals? Who are the characters? If I take a look at the picture in the front cover, I'm looking at the setting. And I think, because I see some leaves and some branches and some grass, that kind of looks like a forest. What do you think? And then I don't see any people, so I don't think we're going to have characters that are people, but I do see two different animals. What kind of animals do you see on this cover? I see a lion character and a mouse character. Let's get started with reading. One day, a little mouse was scampering about. The little mouse accidentally ran across the paw of a sleeping lion. Where does this story take place? What is the setting here? Can you take a look at the picture and tell me where you see the characters? And when is it? Do you think it's daytime or maybe nighttime? Make sure you say the sentence stem. The setting is the angry lion awoke and captured the mouse in his great, big, furry paws. The lion was just about to eat the mouse when the tiny creature cried out, "Please set me free. One day I will return your kindness." So the lion released the mouse. Who are the characters in this story? Can you look at the pictures and tell me who the characters are? Make sure you say the sentence stem. The characters are. If I look at the pictures, I see two animals. I think the characters are the lion and the mouse. A little while later, the mouse heard what sounded like angry roars. The mouse followed the sounds and discovered the lion trapped in a net made of ropes. Though frightened, the mouse was determined to keep his promise. Which character has a problem? Make sure you say your sentence stems. The lion or the mouse has a problem. And the problem is. Using his sharp teeth, the mouse made a hole in the net, and so the great lion was set free. The moral of the story is friends who are little in size can still be great friends. So what was the solution of this problem? How did the problem get solved? What was the solution? Say the sentence stem. The solution is. The end. Now let's learn how to describe the plot of this story. Our objective for today is I will describe the elements of a plot, including the main event, the problem, and the resolution in a story. So we're going to take a look at our book of The Lion and the Mouse, and we are going to describe the plot, which includes the main event, the problem, and the resolution of a story. The very first thing I want to talk about is plot. Can you guys say that word with me? Plot. Let's say it in a lion voice. Plot. Let's say it in a mouse voice. Plot. A plot is what happens in a story. What happens in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. A plot is sort of like a roller coaster. You have the beginning, which is the first part of a story, and then you have the middle, which is the next part of the story, and then the last part of the story, which is the end. That's what makes a plot. You talk about what happens first, next, and last. And it's very important that we use those words when we're describing the beginning, the middle, and the end. That way, the listener knows what part of the plot you're talking about. So if you're talking about the beginning, you want to make sure you use the word first. If you're talking about the middle, you want to make sure you're using the word next. And if you're talking about the end, you want to make sure you're using the word last. Now, let's review main events. Main events are what happens in the beginning, the middle, and the end of a story. That is plots. When you retell a story, you need to make sure that you include the beginning, the middle, and the end, and also the characters and the setting. That way, the listener, the person who's listening to you retell the story, knows who the characters are, knows what the setting, when and where the story happened is, and the main events, which is the plot, what happened in the beginning, the middle, and the end of a story. And you have to make sure you use your own words because that is how you retell a story. That's how you are describing the events of a story. I want to talk about fable. Can you guys say that word with me? Fable. Say it in a lion voice. Fable. Say it in a mouse voice. A fable is a made-up story with animals that are talking or wearing clothes. A fable is a type of folk tale. Folk tales are usually short, like our story, The Lion and the Mouse, have talking animals, again, like our story, The Lion and the Mouse, takes place outside, again, like our story, The Lion and the Mouse, and teaches a lesson. Did our story teach us a lesson today? These are some other famous fables. The Fox and the Grapes, The Lion and the Mouse, which is what we read today, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, The Tortoise and the Hare, and The Fox and the Crow. I invite you to look at these different fables and see what kind of lesson you learn. What kind of characters do they have? And is the setting happening outside? The next thing I want to talk about is character. Can you guys say that word with me? Character. Say it in a lion voice. Character. Say it in a mouse voice. A character is a person, animal, or creature in a story. A person, just like you and me, and an animal, just like, I don't know, maybe a lion, or maybe a mouse, maybe even a dog, or a turtle, or a rabbit. Also, a creature, maybe like a ghost, a monster, or an alien. Next, I want to talk about setting. Setting. Say it with me. Setting. Now say it in a lion voice. Setting. Now say it in a mouse voice. Setting. Setting is when and where the story takes place. When may be like during the day or at night. And where could be maybe a castle, out in the ocean, in a forest. These are all different places where a story could happen, where a story takes. So now let's take a look at the story elements of our story for today. I want us to look at the characters and the setting. For the characters, we have two different characters. Can you tell me who they are? Who are the characters in this story? The two characters in our story are the lion and the mouse. Those are the animals that we see in our story. Those are the characters that we see in our story. Now let's talk about the setting. When and where the story takes place. When did the story happen? Was it daytime or was it nighttime? The sky was bright. That means that it was daytime. And where the story happened is in a forest. And I know it was a forest because I saw lots of trees. Now let's take a look at our roller coaster. Remember that I said when we look at a plot of a story, we need to make sure that we look at the beginning, the middle, and the end. So I want us to take a look at the plot of our story. We're going to look at the beginning, the middle, and the end of our story. In the beginning part of our plot, we saw two things that were very important happen. We need to make sure that we use our word to describe the beginning first. So when we describe the beginning, we need to make sure we use the word first. First, the lion found the mouse and he let the mouse go. Do you remember in the beginning? I want you to take a look at these two pictures here. This is what happened first in our story. Now let's look at the middle part of our plot. Next, we need to make sure we use the word next. When we describe the middle part of a story, we need to make sure we use the word next. In the middle. Next, the lion was trapped in a net. How do you think the lion felt about being trapped in a net? Does that seem like a big problem to you? Then we have the end part of a story. When we talk about the end, we need to make sure we use our word last. Last. Last, the mouse helped the lion be free. Now, let's take a look at the problem and the resolution of our story. The problem was that the lion was caught in a net. And how did this problem get fixed? How did the lion get out of this net? The resolution is how the problem was fixed. What happened in the story that fixed this problem? That fixed the problem of the lion being caught in a net? Well, the solution was that the mouse used his teeth to make a hole so that the lion would be free. So remember that our problem was that the lion was caught because he could not get out. But the mouse kept his promise of returning his kindness. Remember in our story that the mouse said, "One day I will return your kindness." And he did that by solving the lion's problem, by using his own very little teeth to make a hole in the net. That way the lion would be free. Now for practice, I want you to draw a picture of the plot of the story. the beginning, middle, and end. And then I want you to complete the sentence stem for each. So I want you to draw a picture of the beginning and tell me first, and tell me what happened in the beginning part of the story. Then a picture of the middle part of the story, and use our word next to tell me what happened in the middle part of the story. And then a picture of the end, and use our word last to tell me what happened in the end of the story. And then I want you to draw a picture of the problem and the resolution. So what was the problem in the story? And how did the problem get solved? What was the resolution? And here's the homework for pre-K. Which event happened at the end of the story? Pick one of these pictures that is the correct end of this story and draw it. Which one of these pictures happened at the end of the story? Was it the mouse using his teeth to free the lion from the net? Or was it the lion finding the mouse? Or was it the lion getting trapped in the net? Which one happened at the end, and draw a picture of it. For the kindergarten homework, I want you to answer this question. How did the lion solve his problem at the end? I want you to pick the correct picture and draw the one that shows how the lion solved the problem. And then I want you to complete the sentence stem down here. The lion solved his problem because, so pick one of these pictures to draw and complete the sentence stem down below. The lion solved his problem because, and tell me, how did the lion solve his problem? Thank you for reading and learning with me today, my friends. I hope that you enjoyed this book, The Lion and the Mouse, as much as I did. I cannot wait to see you again. Have fun doing your homework, and I will see you soon. Bye.